Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm here with the fifth part of this questionnaire. Today I will discuss some questions from plant physio and ecology. So the first question is the water which remains readily available to the plants in soil is. Our options are capillary water, chemically bound water, gravitational water, or hygroscopic water. So its right answer is capillary water. This is the water which is present in the soil for plants, and plants can utilize this water. And other forms of water are not readily available for the plants. So we have different types of water. Hygroscopic water. So this water adheres to the soil particle and is present on the surface of soil particle, which is not available for the plants. Then next is capillary water. So here water is held in the micropores. जो सॉइल पार्टिकल्स के बीच में माइक्रोपोर्स होते हैं वहाँ पे strongly firmly it is attaches with the soil particle and this water is available to the plants. Then gravitational water, इसमें जो water होता है that drains downwards and reaches the water table, और ये जो water होता है it is not available for the plants. While in case of chemically bound water, it is combined with some chemical substances, which is again not available for the plants. So the water which is readily available for the plants in soil is the capillary water. In addition to this, we use some other terms for this. So the water which is available for the plants, so the amount of water which is available for the plants is known as gizzard. And the water which is not available for the plant is called ecard, and both gizzard and ecard form the hollard, which is the total amount of water which is present in the soil. Next, the plants which evade dry conditions are known as. ऐसे plants जो dry conditions को evade करते हैं, means skip करते हैं, these plants are known as ephemerals, sciophytes, heliophytes, or chasmophytes. So its right answer is ephemerals. Ephemerals, this is a noun, और इसका मतलब होता है which lasts for a shorter duration. जो थोड़े समय के लिए लास्ट करते हैं उसे ephemerals कहा जाता है. So these are the plants which are also known as drought escapers. इन्हें drought escapers भी कहा जाता है, या फिर इन्हें कहा जाता है drought evaders or ephemerals. So they complete their life cycle within a week or in one season before the upcoming of tough conditions or dry conditions, and they survive with the help of their tolerant parts like seeds or underground parts. So ephemeral plants appear only for a relatively short time, undergoes growth, flowering, and death in a few days to few weeks. Its name comes from the term ephemeral, which means something that lasts for a very short time. So we have different types of ephemerals. Here they have asked dry, the plants which evade dry conditions. So these are the desert ephemerals, while there are some spring ephemerals also. So spring ephemerals, they undergo all the changes of their life cycle. During spring, they start germinate when the soil becomes warm. But before the tree canopy blocks all the light on the forest, they complete their life cycle. So why it's and the examples of spring ephemerals are white wake robin. Its scientific name is Trillium grandiflorum. The next is Virginia bluebells. Scientific name is Mertensia virginica, and the drought lily, that is Erythronium americanum. Then next we have desert ephemerals. So these plants are taking advantage of rainfall season and temperature in the desert before rapidly growing and reproducing. Desert plants in general experiences only rain pulse with a which varies in location, frequency, intensity, and duration. So जो desert plants होते हैं वहाँ पे जो water की availability that is very less. So when there is some availability of water, so at that time the plant grow and develop reproductive organs and produces seeds or set some underground parts by which it can survive in the tough conditions. So the example is firewheel or Indian blanket. The scientific name is Gaillardia pulchella. In addition to this, we have some other plant, that is Solanum xanthocarpum. The next, sciophytes and heliophytes. So sciophytes are the shade loving plants. ऐसे प्लांट जो शेड में ग्रो करना प्रेफर करते हैं. हेलियोफाइट्स आर द प्लांट्स विच प्रेफर्स टू ग्रो इन ब्राइट सनलाइट. There are some differences in the plants. So in case of heliophytes, which loves to grow in sunlight, bright sunlight, so these plants have thick stem, while sciophytes have narrow stem. Internode is shorter in case of heliophytes and longer in case of sciophytes. Size of leaf is large in case of heliophytes or sun-loving plant, sunlight-loving plant, and smaller in case of sciophytes. Thickness of leaf is more in case of heliophytes as compared to sciophytes. Epidermal or epidermis wall is thick in heliophytes, thin in sciophytes. Cuticle is thick in heliophytes and thin in sciophytes. Stomata sunken in case of heliophytes, and they are present in the level of with the surface or normal stomatas. Then palisade parenchyma, which is more developed in case of heliophytes and less developed in case of sciophytes. Spongy parenchyma is less developed in heliophytes and more developed in sciophytes. Osmotic pressure is very high in case of heliophytes, lower in case of sciophytes. Osmotic. Then flowering and fruiting is abundant in case of heliophytes and less in sciophytes. Light compensation point is higher in case of heliophytes and lower in case of sciophytes. So these are the differences in between sciophytes and heliophytes. The next category is chasmophytes. So these are the plants which prefers to grow in rock crevices. तो जो rock की crevices और furrows में grow करते हैं उन plants को chasmophytes बोलते हैं. The next we have some other categories of plants like auxilophytes. So these are the plants which prefers to grow in acidic soil. जो acidic soil में grow करते हैं उन plants को कहा जाता है auxilophyte. Then lithophytes. These are the plants which grows on the rock surface. Rock के surface के ऊपर grow करते हैं. Then psammophytes. These are the plants which prefers to grow on sand. जो sand के ऊपर grow करते हैं. So these are the terms which are used for different plants on the basis. Next question is the zone where two or more different communities meet and integrate is called. Our options are transition zone, ecotone, both A and B, and none of the. So its right answer is both A and B. जहाँ पे दो कम्युनिटीज़ मिलती है उस जोन को कहा जाता है ट्रांजिशन जोन. और इकोटोन दैट इज जोन ऑफ टेंशन. सो इकोटोन इज अ जोन ऑफ ट्रांजिशन बिटवीन डिस्टिंक्ट इकोलॉजिकल कम्युनिटीज़ और हैबिटेट्स. सो दो हैबिटेट्स के बीच में लाइक वी हैव वन फॉरेस्ट लैंड एंड अदर इज द ग्रास लैंड. सो इनके बीच का जो जंक्शन है दैट इज कॉल्ड इकोटोन. दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉन एज जोन ऑफ टेंशन एंड ट्रांजिशन जोन. For example, this is the land zone. This is the one community which lives in this ecosystem, that is land zone. Then second is aquatic zone. So in between aquatic and land zone there is a transition zone, and this transition zone is known as ecotone. इसे कहा था ecotone. And one more thing, जो number of species होती हैं इस zone में, that is transition zone, that is greater in number. It shows greater diversity in this zone of transition or ecotone. So that increased number of species or diversity in species in this region is known as edge effect. So इसे edge effect कहा जाता है because it is present in the edges of two communities. दो communities के edge में present होता है. So the number of species that they are greater in this region. So that's why this is known as edge effect. इसे edge effect भी कहा जाता है. For example, we will understand this with the help of this diagram. So this is the community A, second one is community B. So there is a zone of transition or junction जहाँ पे दो communities मिलती है. So here we can see there are 3 species in case of community A and 3 species in community B, while in between these two communities in zone of junction or transition zone or ecotone, the number of species are 9. So this greater diversity in the number of species in this region, ecotone region, is known as edge effect. इसे कहा जाता है edge. Next question, the amount of nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus and calcium present in the soil at a given time is called. Our options are primary productivity, standing state, ecological efficiency and net primary productivity. So its right answer is standing state. So the amount of inorganic matter present in the soil at a given time is called standing state. Then there is another term that is known as standing crop. standing crop. So this is the amount of organic matter or living matter present in an area at a given time is called standing crop. First level discuss about productivity. So there are two types of productivity. One is gross primary productivity and another is net primary productivity. So gross primary productivity, it is the rate of production of organic matter during photosynthesis in an ecosystem. So जो भी organic matter synthesize होता है during photosynthesis as is gross primary productivity. After that, some of this organic matter is utilized in the process of growth and development by the process of respiration. So net primary productivity is the gross primary productivity minus respiration. So gross primary productivity minus respiration is equal to net primary productivity. Next comes standing crop that I have already discussed. So amount of living biomass present in an ecosystem is known as standing crop. It is biotic component and dry weight is preferred over the fresh weight. Next is standing state, so that I've already discussed. So this is the amount of inorganic nutrients found in an ecosystem. It represents the part of non-living matter. It circulates between living and non-living components of the ecosystem, and it is being regularly depleted and replenished by the living matter. Then the next option was the ecological efficiency. So this is basically the energy transfer from one trophic level to another trophic level. So that transfer of energy from one trophic level to another trophic level is known as ecological efficiency. So how energy is transferred from sun to prime producers, then primary consumers, to secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, and to the top consumers, and after that decomposers. So that transfer of energy from one. Next question is, the idea of ecological pyramids was advanced by, our options are Clark 1954, A.G. Tencel 1935, Odom 1971, and C.E. Elton. So its right answer is C.E. Elton. These ecological pyramids are also known as Eltonian pyramids. This is the photograph of Charles E. Elton. So basically we have three types of ecological pyramids. The first one is pyramid of energy, and the most unique feature of this pyramid is it is always upright. So this pyramid consists of the basal trophic level, which is formed by the producers, and after that these successive levels, trophic levels, are formed by the consumers. So firstly we have primary consumer, then secondary consumer. So there is transfer of energy from producers to consumer, and this transfer of energy is governed by the second law of thermodynamics, that is only 10% energy is transferred to the next trophic level and 90% energy is utilized by that same trophic level for their growth and development. So only 10% energy is transferred. So this is also known as 10% law. So it is in the pyramid of energy, each level represents the amount of energy that is available to the trophic level, which with each step there is an energy loss of 90%. Next comes pyramid of biomass. So in a terrestrial ecosystem, the pyramid of biomass represents the amount of biomass consumed by the level above it. So in case of terrestrial ecosystem, so it is upright, and pyramid of energy is always upright. So this is the unique feature of this pyramid. So pyramid of biomass in terrestrial ecosystem, for example in forest ecosystem, it is upright, while in case of aquatic ecosystem, this pyramid of biomass is inverted, because the trophic level is formed by the planktons, then followed by zooplanktons, then small fishes, they have greater biomass, then large fishes, then giant fishes like blue whale. So their biomass is greater as compared to these other trophic levels. So this is inverted in case of aquatic ecosystem. The next comes pyramid of number. This is the third type of pyramid. So pyramid of number, in each trophic level represents the number of individual organism consumed by the level above it. So in case of forest ecosystem, it is always upright, and it is inverted in case of parasitic food chain. For example, there is one tree which is inhabited by many birds, and each bird is contains many ectoparasites, and each ectoparasite contains many hyperparasite. So this is inverted in case of we can say parasitic food chain in forest ecosystem. Then it is spindle shape. Number of pyramid is spindle shape in forest or tree ecosystem. Like there is one tree that is inhabited by small birds which are greater in number, and in that tree there is also there also inhabits the larger bird. So larger bird also inhabit that tree, so it becomes spindle shape. So pyramid of number may be spindle shape. So these are three types of pyramids in ecosystem. That is pyramid of energy, pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of numbers. And here the pyramid of energy is always upright without. So this was all about for our today's discussion about these questions. Hope you will get some idea from this presentation. If you have any questions, queries, and any suggestions, you can give it in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.